Courage to conquer, you know how it is. It's 24 hours a day, that's how I live. Gotta get the courage to conquer, face your fears, face your fears. Not an empire, that's the goal. Building that wealth, I'ma get that dough. Hustle hard every day, I'm a ball in my pain. I don't care what you got to say, but you ain't got the courage to conquer. Courage to conquer. Courage to conquer. Courage to conquer.
This is the Courage to Conquer podcast. I'm Earl Himes. That's Laura Himes. We're the conquering couple.
We are.
And being the conquering couple, we're going to talk about what is a real man and what is a real woman.
That's, you like to say, like the real woman. You like, what is
You
it
want
to
a
be
woman.
a man, or was it to be a woman?
If you want a woman, you just dig the woman.
The woman.
I get a little crazy with that, but you
Yeah.
know, anyway. But that's what we're going to talk about because this day and age, it's
Yeah.
how things have gone, society
Roles.
and politics, government, all kind of things. Things kind of get all misconstrued, I feel, in how I believe it, and you do as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to talk about some of those things of what the roles of a woman is and what the roles of a man is, and all that. Nothing to do with strength, you know, and equality, that kind of stuff, because everybody can do that stuff at all. You know, anybody can do anything. Ain't no problem with that stuff.
Yeah.
Because this woman right here, man, she runs the show. She takes care of it. She's the hardest working person. Works her ass off all the time. And I just stay back and just watch it all most of the time. So, and therefore, I ain't got to work as hard because she's getting after it. So therefore, I was like, you got it, babe. You run it. You
You
do
don't
it.
have a problem if I make more money than you.
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm not that person.
I know. We've talked about that with other
You
people.
can be the breadwinner. I'm okay with it.
We've talked about that with other couples. Like, oh no, I cannot let my wife make more money. I'm like, what?
Well,
That's weird. Yeah.
Okay, but speaking of that right there, if you see that as that, then that should help pull you up.
Yeah.
So you start making more money, and then both of you together can just have all this stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
more and more stuff. That's how we see it.
So what do you
So I
think
see.
your role is as a man in the family unit? What should your role be, do you feel?
Well, to be a man, definitely, okay, you always treat women with respect.
Yes.
Chivalry, you know, yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am. Open doors for people. Hold doors open for people. Don't just let the door slam in her face.
Yeah.
Open the door for your woman when you take her somewhere. You open her door to get in the vehicle, not her get her own.
Yeah.
You know, struggle getting in and out sometimes, you know, situations or whatever.
You drop me off at the door?
Drop off the door when it's cold. Hey, drop off the door. You park the vehicle. You walk in, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and help out in certain circumstances. Again, we talk about the whole part about our relationship and, you know, things 100, but we have our roles that we do that. But it's not like a man should just sit at home and do nothing, play Xbox and PlayStation, and the woman's
That would
out
be weird
working,
if you
busting her
ever
ass.
did that.
It'd be so weird to me. I don't even have no idea how that's happened nowadays. But it's funny how just guys just want to still stay at home and live in their, you know, parents' basement, and you know, you're 32 years old and just, what are you doing? Oh, just down here just doing his thing, you know.
I wouldn't have dated you. Just letting you know now, I would not have done it.
I got a saying I say all
Yeah.
the time, so I'm going to say it now. It can be edited out or not, but it takes more to being a man than having a hard-on and hair in your chest. Okay? It takes a whole lot more to being a man than that. It takes discipline. It takes respect.
It's probably why you
It
don't
takes try. It
go
takes
over
hard
the
work.
podcast with me before we talk. Because you don't want to tell me.
I leave
everything.
certain snippets out sometimes. You know, not everything going to go that way.
Yeah.
Because you know, a lot of times a guy don't want to work, and he'll just let the woman take care of everything. But then he wants to gripe and complain about every single thing going on, and the woman will still go ahead.
He
and
wants
go
to be the
about it.
leader, but he's not leading.
Yeah, you know, to be a leader, like you just said, you got to lead from the front. You got to show what needs to be done, help out those situations. And not, you know,
I
you go make
feel-
the money, I'm going to stay home. But then when you get your money, I want the money from you. So I
I
can go
feel
spend it on
like
what I want to
at
spend it on.
work, we both have, you have your, we say lanes. You have your lane
Yeah.
you're in, I have my lane I'm in. But we're both giving 100% of each other to certain things in the company.
Yeah.
But when I leave here and I go home, I don't, and it's weird to me because here I'm totally fine. Hey, I'm the boss. I'm going to do this and da-da-da. I got my thing. I'm going and you got your thing and we're doing it. But at home, I don't want that pressure.
Yeah.
I'd much rather you make the bigger decisions. I'll say, hey, how do you want to do this? Or, you know,
Right.
what do you want to do about this bill that's coming in or whatever? And I'd rather it be your decision to make that.
Yeah.
And lead the family. Yeah.
Be responsible to make those decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Never tear the woman down. Always bring the woman up. You know, have her back. Something goes down, something goes wrong. Don't trash talk, you know, her to in the office. People walk out the door, and then next thing you know, and I swear that son of a blah 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 does all this and does that. No,
Yeah.
no. different respect.
We stay
take care of
united.
things. Yep.
Yeah.
How can you help them out? Situations they're going through. You know, how can we solve these problems? You know, find solutions, find systems that we talk about to make things work better for us. You know, to treat the woman how she needs to be treated.
Yeah. So I think one of the things that you like, and we've talked about this a lot, is I think you even wanted to do a thing on this on chivalry, teaching young men how to be. You had talked about even having a class or a course or something, teaching young men how to have chivalry and to bring chivalry back. And we were somewhere not long ago, and a lady said, "Oh my gosh, he's such a gentleman because you opened the door for me and you pulled out the chair for me and stuff." And just the way you are, you're very respectful. You're very respectful of women. You're very respectful to other people. When we go out to dinner, when there's other people walking behind us, you're holding the door for everybody. It's a respect thing. I've always liked that. I've always been drawn to that, and I love that about you because you do that. You'll order for me a lot when we're at the restaurant because you always know you're like, hey, what do you want? So when the waiter comes, you'll order a lot for me and stuff.
And things have changed the last 20 years, probably at least, is because you think about back when we were kids. We didn't listen to the same music our parents listened to, you know?
No.
At all. Different clothes, different music. And as time has gone on, now, like this day and age, everybody's listening to the same music, watching the same kind of shows, dressing the same. So, in a way, a lot of times how I feel, a lot of parents don't want to be parents anymore. They just want to be friends. They don't want to deal with the kids. They don't want to deal with part of the job of being a parent. The biggest job of you being a parent is to raise that kid, that child, you know, and how the world's going to be to prepare that child for what's happening later on in life.
Well, I feel that
And
works.
nowadays people don't want to do it. And so men just push that off. And some women too, you know, but that's part of the man. It's just, hey, your son, your daughter, these are things you do. You, from the very moment they're born, you treat them right then. You're a princess. You're a prince. This is how you're going to be treated. This is what's going to be taken care of. And then you need to act the same way to show the kids this is what happened in life.
You're leading by example. They're watching everything you do.
Oh, totally.
Children are absorbed. So I feel like as far as marriage, because we're talking about marriage, how it is to be a man and a woman, you both have to be on the same page for parenting.
Yeah. Oh, definitely on the same page.
You got to be on the same page for parenting because if you haven't decided that before you had your children or whatever, like, hey, when we have kids, this is how we're going to be, then you've got one parent spoiling the child and the other one's not. Yeah. And then it causes issues in the relationship.
Oh, yeah.
And
because the kid will find out so fast how to use each other against each other.
Well, growing up, my mom would say, when your dad got home. So my dad was the one that my mom would get onto us for something, and she said, when your dad got home, and we knew when dad got home, we might be getting a spanking.
That is same thing on
my
side.
Yeah. And so when you raised your kids, you know, Earl raised his kids. He was previously married, and I was previously married, and we didn't have children together. So our kids, when we got together, were all grown pretty much. Gina was really the only one at home. I had a few kids at home, but you guys had made that decision before you had children, how you were going to raise your children and what you were going to do so that they could learn from you, so you could be a good example.
Right.
You know, and some of the things I'm seeing is as far as couples relationships, one of the biggest things I see is how the things you're doing in front of your kids are watching everything you're doing. And then you're like, well, I don't know where they got that song, or I don't know why they're dancing like that. That's because they're watching what you're doing. They're watching what you're listening to. So they're sponges, especially when they're young, and they absorb all that. And then you have trouble later on. It just causes you trouble if you look at it. It's just going to cause you trouble later on down the line. And then you've got a relationship that's like, well, I told you not to spoil them. I told you to keep certain things from them. Now, me too. Me and my ex-husband, when we raised our children, we did not allow certain things. We didn't allow people to cuss around our kids. There wasn't alcohol brought in our house when our kids were little. We would be out in a public place. If somebody was cussing real bad, we'd say, hey, we got little girls over here. You know, we'd bring their attention to it, not trying to be mean, but just because we just did not want them to hear certain things. It wasn't until they were way older did they ever hear a cuss word. I think all my kids were well into their teens before they ever seen alcohol in our house. Because they were little, I never wanted that. Right. And I think that's part of just having a good marriage too, is talking about what you're going to expect. Yeah. And to kind of go on that note, when you're looking for a partner, you know, you're not just looking for a good time. If you're actually wanting a partner, you want to talk about, you know, what's your goals, what are the things you're wanting to do in life, because he may want to do something totally different, and then you get into a relationship and it just doesn't end well because you expected him to be a certain way, and you never, like when we got together, we told each other what we wanted. Right. You told me what you were looking for.
Yeah, totally.
In a relationship.
It's called dating and courting, which is hard to understand what that is nowadays as well.
Yeah.
That doesn't
There's
happen
not a
anymore.
lot of that.
No.
Online dating, it's weird to me, but yeah.
Hey, you look cute. You want to move in?
Yeah.
That's kind of the way it is nowadays.
That happens a lot, yeah.
And, you know, and that's, to me, is one of those things where nowadays people are, they're not courting and dating to prepare for marriage. They move right in and all they're doing is preparing for divorce because that's what that is.
Yeah.
Well, that's not that there. I mean, it's more of a couple thing now than a man-woman thing, I guess we're talking about. But that's what it is nowadays. I mean, you're preparing for divorce because you get to know that person and what they're even like at all just because of a hookup and all that. Move in to help share some bill, split some bills to help out. Well, they're a totally different person you ever thought. Different attitude, are not nice like you thought they were, all kind of issues going on. Well, then you take the TV, she takes the couch, whatever, and there you are, you're split up, and then you do it all over again.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to take the time to actually get to know somebody before that happens. Back in the day, of course, and we're talking about this about back in the day, royalty, and not even just royalty, just in general. You like homeschool. Basically, what this is where from the time they're born, how they're going to be when they get older, how to be a proper mother, how to be a proper wife, how to be a proper father, and husband, on how you do these things. So that starts from this time here on. And that's done nowadays.
When my sons were little, I told them they would be the one that brings in the money. They're the ones that go out and work, and their wives should stay home when their kids are little and take care of the children, take care of the house. That's how I felt. That's why I told my children. Now, all of my children, and I said, hey, if you want to work, that's up to you, but know that it's a very important role when you have small children to be there for them and be able to raise them and spend that time with them. And it's really hard when you're out and, because I did it, I chose to work at a point where my kids were smaller. And so, but to me, it was always, my sons were always, you're the leader of the house. You're the one that's going to provide. Your wife can work if she wants to work, but it should not be forced upon her unless you guys sit down together and she decides, hey, she wants to do this to help better the home. Yeah. But her job is to cook and clean, take care of you, make sure you have clean clothes, food's on the table when you come home from work, take care of your children, raise your kids, take them to and from school, all that kind of stuff. That's how I kind of raised my kids when they were younger, just because, and it wasn't, and I've told all my girls, you can do anything you want to do. I mean, I've owned a business, they can own a business, they can do anything if they choose to do that. Yeah. I never wanted my girls to be, okay, yeah, you work and you let some guy that lives with you sit on his ass and not do anything. Right. That bothers me. We've had that before, and I'm like, no, that's not how I raise you. Most of my kids are very opinionated, and they'll tell people how they feel about stuff. They're very strong-willed, but you got to be really careful not to take, not to, especially once you have children with somebody and they just decide not to work and not to do anything, not to help you out. It's really hard because now you brought kids into it. Yeah. So that's why from the very beginning, before you ever have children, when you're still dating and looking, it's very important to pick the right person. Yeah. Because it's going to trickle affect your kids later. If that person's like, I don't want to work anymore. You just support me and he wants to stay home. Well,
I pop off, before about, that 45 seconds of fun cost you 18 years of, turmoil because of that situation right there. Yeah. But yeah, that's, in this day and age, that's how things have gotten. It's gotten crazy on that right there. But yeah, definitely back on as far as the man side is, like you just said, as far as making decisions for the family, what's going on, what we're going to be doing in our life, where we're going and proceeding, how we're growing our children, what decisions we're making for us, where we're living at, how we're living at, not just finding a place and just shacking up and here we go and we'll figure out from there. Yes, things happen in life. I don't mean that at all, but take some huevos, man up basically, and make the right decision, do what's got to be done. Are things easy? Heck, no, things aren't easy. Things are hard. But that's part of being the man, is be the one making the hard decisions, doing the hard work, where the woman don't have to. Yes, like she likes to work. She enjoys working. I enjoy working with her, so I'm all about it. But if she ever one time said, you know what, I think I'm going to take some time off and chill out and work some other things, do what I want to do, I'm like, sounds good. No problem at all.
So if I say that when we're in Florida, hey, I think I'm going to take a couple months off and just hang out here.
I'm going to say, okay, sounds good. Set it up. Find us a place and we'll figure it out.
I think I'm going to take a couple months off with you. That's what you're going to say. No, I think as far as like the relationship thing is the man and woman, is it starts from the very beginning when you're dating somebody. You really do. Don't be worried. So what? If they don't like what you have to say and they're like, you feel like you're expecting too much, I wouldn't settle.
Yeah.
Don't settle. Just tell them, like, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for somebody, like when we were together, I like the fact that you owned your own business. Do you like the fact that I wanted you to own your own business? And I was looking for certain things and you were looking for certain things and that fit for us.
Yeah.
It's the same thing when you're dating somebody. Just tell them. I mean, I read this book and I'm in the middle. It's called Under Construction. I'm in the middle of reading this book, and she said she would go to a date and she would tell him, "Hey, I know it's our first, like the first 5 minutes in. Hey, I'm just gonna let you know what I'm expecting, and I want to have kids sometime." She just laid it out.
Right.
And I mean, a lot of the men she ran off because they're like, "Holy crap," But she was ready to settle down. So she said, "Hey, if you're not looking for that, great. We can have a good meal together. I'll take my check, you take yours. No big deal." Because
why waste time for something that's not even
she
going to
didn't
happen
want to
begin
waste
with?
time because she's now in her 30s,
Right.
and she's like, I don't want to waste time. Not only that, is person that I'm a very strong-willed woman, so this man will get me, and the right man will go, you know what, I like that about you because I'm
Correct.
looking for the same thing.
Yep.
And it happened for her. So she ended up meeting this guy, and she's like, this is what I'm looking for. And he goes, well, I think we're going to get along great because a lot of what you're looking for is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
She said, well, let me hear what you're looking for. So then he told her, and then they started dating, and he's a very wealthy man. They got married, and
Right.
they knew from the beginning what they expected from each other.
Yeah.
There's no surprises. That's why I liked about it.
Sure.
She was up front. And some people are going, God, that's rude. It's not really rude. I don't think it's rude. I think you're just saying, hey, we can hang out, have a great meal together, whatever, but this is what I'm looking for in the future.
Yeah.
Kind of tell me what you're looking for.
Right.
I think if I had to do this online dating thing, I would do that from the beginning. This is what I'm looking for. Don't contact me if you're not looking for the same. No.
They're going to tell you first.
Yeah.
Just to get you out on
I'm
a
not
date.
the one
Just to
you're
get you
gonna
out.
sleep
And then
with.
from there, then it all changes. You find
I
out
have
real
self-control.
quick. Then you find out real quick what the person's about.
Unless it's you. You pretty eyes. Yeah. Yeah.
But you got to become... It's a person you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
You need to become that person, that type of person that you're looking for.
Yes.
Okay.
If you're holding yourself to a higher standard and you're wanting or expecting this person to be here, then you can't be doing stuff down here and acting crazy and posting all kinds of crazy stuff.
Can't
on
be acting a
social
fool,
media.
but then again, you won't be treated like a queen
Yes.
and a proper lady or
Yeah.
a high standard gentleman. But then again, you're over here doing all this stuff.
But if you're wanting this person at this level, then what is that person doing? What are they like? What are their types of things? What are they looking for? And you got to become that person that's going to attract him, or you're not going to find that. You might be like, oh, I want to be spoiled. I want to be. I guess you have them.
Well, there's
Those are called
ways.
Sugar babies.
You can have a sugar daddy, sugar mama. You can have that stuff. If it works out for you, that's great.
Hey,
So
whatever.
there's a
you
price
want.
kind of for everything. It depends on what you're willing to pay for it. I mean, it's the way it is.
Will you be my sugar daddy?
On both sides. There's
I need to be my
ways.
sugar
There's
daddy.
ways to pay for it. Both sides. What's that joke back in the day? Same thing. Being upfront and honest about things. Hey, you pick a lady up, you meet her, you pick her up, say, hey, I know I'm getting tonight. What do you mean? I mean, we gonna hook up and have a good time, boom. If so, steak dinner, lobster, you name it, it's yours. What do you want? But if I'm not getting anything but conversation, I'll take you down to McDonald's, run through, get your drive through, get you a Happy Meal, and kick your ass out.
Who's?
But it comes back to
Yeah.
what you're expecting, because that person's what they're expecting is
I'm
here.
not hooking up with you.
If you're not that person, there you go. Same thing. I'm just
Exactly. I'd be like, well, we're
having
not
fun with
hooking
it.
up because you're
Having fun with it.
nasty.
Having fun with
and
it.
with a million people,
Right.
apparently.
And don't worry about being alone. A lot of
Yeah.
times nowadays, people don't want to be alone at all. Can't stand being alone.
Yes.
So they
I know
will-
people right now in
people
relationships
will settle.
because they don't want to be alone.
People will sell that reason
Yeah.
right there.
I feel like
The next thing you know, there's like you just
they're going to miss their
there's
true person.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years of your life going, what the heck am I doing?
Talk about that for a second, because we know some people in that situation. We know some relationships like that, and they don't want to be alone. And to me, I feel like, but you're losing the chance to find the one person that would treat you better.
Yeah.
Like, what are you worth? I feel like, know your self-worth. What are you worth? If you're worth more than that, this guy doesn't give a crap about you. So I would much rather be alone. And I have lived by myself before. I would much rather be alone and then find happiness and not have the stress
And
every
if
day
you
of
know
trying
you're
to
not
please
with the
someone who don't
person-
care about me.
If you know you're not with the person that you should be with or will be with,
You're just wasting
so the person
years.
you are, you're just wasting that much more time. Or they're going to
Yeah.
find somebody else down the road, and boom, then you're passed by, and there you go.
And then you look at how many years of your life you wasted with that person.
Correct.
Life is too short.
Yep.
Next, please, was that
Timing,
song?
timing.
Move on.
Timing,
Get your
get it.
bags, they're at the door. There's a song
So-
I used to listen to all the time. It's like, next.
But being, just
Yeah.
man up. That's kind of how I say it all the time. Is just man up and get things done, taken care of. Be the man.
Take
that
care
you
of your
taken
wife
And it comes
or
back
your
to
girlfriend.
being a father, that you need to show your sons and daughters how things need to be. And the same thing with a woman, how a young lady should be acting, how they sit, how they talk, how they do things. Same thing with a young man. And therefore, that down the road. And for me, as far as a parent, my side was always surely just try to raise my kids the best of my ability that I can. I did all I possibly can. And then when they turn 18 and they move out, and yes, they move out at 18. Okay, they don't stay home until they're 25, 27 years old. They move out at 18. Then it's on them. Then who they surround themselves with and go from there. So you hope you did enough imprinting on your children to show what their standards are, what their value is, so they're not going to go to those levels where they don't need to be.
Yeah.
So
I think you
that's
did great
part
with
of being a
your
man.
kids.
So
I think
appreciate
they
it.
did great.
Try
I think
to.
they did great.
Yeah.
I love them.
I speak affirmations to all my grandkids, and I hold them and stuff. I talk to them how they're a prince or princess. They're beautiful. They're wonderful. They're strong. They're powerful.
Yeah, I see you doing it with the grandbabies.
I do all the time.
Even when they're born, right when we go to the hospital, he's
yeah.
like talking to him from the very beginning.
Yep.
I love it.
Good intel.
Yes, imprint.
So be a man, be a woman, do what needs to be done, part of the deal, and go out and have the courage to conquer the life you want to live.